Hey guys, Wolvie here with the video for the City of Final Fantasy Opera Omnia Global for the 28th of July 2020. This is going to be the August calendar preview. So it's going to be kind of a lengthy video in this case, and it's not for the reasons that you think, but there are certain aspects that came from the most recent Twitch stream for the global content preview that I want to get into as much explanation to the best of my abilities on. So with certain aspects, you guys know the drill. Some aspects are going to be my opinion only. I am going to be giving a shout out to Jess Wong once again. She did some math on a particular aspect of like what's coming up for the global stream, what's coming for global, and I'll explain the what and the how and the why when I get to that particular point. I will also be leaving the Twitter handle for the TonberryTroupe in the description below, because they have a wonderful infographic. It kind of goes into certain things if you don't want to be reading a shit ton of text. So like I said, there's a bunch to go into for this particular video. It's going to be a little bit longer than usual, so like I said, I do want to get into some of this into as much detail as I'm able to. So that, I hope you guys don't mind that sort of thing. So with that, I'll meet you guys at the home screen. I am back, and like I said, we are going to go into some information into as much detail as I'm able to. So first things first, we are going to go into maintenance Wednesday morning, the 29th of July, from 8 to 10:30 a.m. UTC. For those of you in the Central Daylight Time Zone like I am, this will be from 3 to 5:30 in the morning. So, like I said, there is a lot to go over here, and I want to get into as much detail as with certain aspects as I am able to with the notes that I currently have. So, with that, we're going to go into certain aspects here so that way you guys can see where I'm going at with here. So, when it comes to banners going forward after maintenance, not before, but after maintenance, there is going to be a change in the varying aspects on multi-pulls in the sense of like the rates, the orb colors, so on and so forth. Now, we're going to go into the draw info here because you guys get to see a little bit of what I mean here. Now, when it comes down to the banners itself currently on global, I'm going to show you guys certain things here so you guys get to see what I mean. So here, with current banners, this is being Trey from Final Fantasy Type 0. You get to see that you have off-banner 15 CP weapons for everybody. This doesn't exclude the World of Illusions 15 CP weapons because it's for certain characters and certain attributes. So the only thing you will not see with these banners are the World of Illusion weapons for certain characters, and not everybody gets one. I mean, notable units that do get one include Yuna for Final Fantasy 10 to 10-2, Rem for Final Fantasy Type 0, Squall for Final Fantasy 8, Cloud for Final Fantasy 7, etc., etc. Even Edgar for Final Fantasy 6 has one. So, every 15 CP weapon available, excluding the World of Illusions banners, were on past banners. Now, after the maintenance, I wouldn't say after maintenance, but it's like going forward in the month of August, to be more specific, there will be no more off-banner gold weapons. And by the no more off-banner golds, we're talking any gold weapon in banners starting with Garland's Lost Character, which I'll get into that in a little bit, is that any gold will be somebody that's on the banner. So with that, we do know it's going to be, we're just going to go straight back up here, so it's going to be stuff like this. That's all you're going to be seeing for future banners. Now, why is that the case? So we do know that there's going to be no more off-banner gold. Now, there's also going to be a change in the pull rates themselves, and the pull rate change is actually, and this is the ideal situation, mind you, is going to be the multi-pull rate, meaning that as you guys can see here, where my finger is kind of like pointing at, you notice here that anything that's outside the parentheses, that 0.5, that's the rate you get for a ticket pull and the 500 gems pull. Now, the number you see in the parentheses is actually the multi pull rate, meaning that if you were to do the 10 plus 1, that's the number in the parentheses is in fact the plus 1 rate. So I do have numbers here regarding the changes to the what changes if you get to 1 includes the debut of 2 new types of weapons. So for a 15 and 35 CP weapon for an on-banner character, it's still going to be around 10%. I do have in my notes here, it's roughly 13.1% for a 15 CP weapon. So, and again, this is per multi-pull for a 35 and 50 CP weapon, meaning that the 35 is going to be around 10% as still, but the 15 is going to be up a little bit to 13.1, depending on how you view the infographic from the stream. Regarding the EX weapon, it's going to be at 7.5%. Now on JP, I believe this was at 7% even, but now we have it at 7.5. I do have a feeling as to why Global did this little tweak, but I'm going to leave that to the end of the video with my opinion on that. Now, one of the 2 new weapons that's coming to Global is known as the limited weapon. It's known as LD. Now, the particular pull rate for this with when you get it on a multi-pull is at 5%. This used to be the EX weapon rate, 5%. So now we know that in the future, EX weapons will be at 7.5% per multi-pull. The LD will be at 5%. Now the BT weapon, these are going to be limited to, for the time being, the protagonist and the antagonist from varying games. We don't know if certain ones will be included as well, but we'll see. And then for the multi-pull rate here for burst weapon is going to be at 3%. Now with that, you need to know numbers in sense of how many gems do you need to save up. Now, when it comes down to the LD and burst weapons, to pity an LD weapon, you're going to need 75,000 gems to do so. Now, that's the same number for EX weapon. Now, regarding the burst weapon, you will need 125,000 gems. Now, when it comes down to the burst weapons and LD weapons, when it comes down to the LD weapons itself, the effects it provides to the player it's equipped on, it's pretty damn good. However, it is not exempt from the post-EX ability usage, meaning that if you had to show up and you were to use Pulse of Life and she had her LD, she won't be able to get any skill use recovery of the LD. So that's how it works. It's very good, but it comes at a pretty big cost. Now, when it comes down to the burst weapons, it's pretty much anyone who gets one or will get one, whatever, you need to have their entire kit. The 15, the 35, in the case of the World of Illusions weapon. In some other cases, maybe the weapon from their Dark Mannequin passive, EX. You need to have all those passives, basically. And that's for those who have their burst weapons available at some point, even regardless if it's now on JP or in the future on JP and then later on Global. Now, the thing is with the EX weapons, once you fully realize these, meaning that you get it realized, 3 out of 3 max, you get the sphere, the only time you should be selling the EX weapons is if you have the burst weapon for certain characters. And the reason why I say it like this is because for those who will not be getting a burst weapon, we don't know if they're going to be doing something else in its place for the non-main characters. But the thing is, like, unless you have the burst, don't sell the EX. And the thing is with the EX weapon, when you fully realize that you get it 3 out of 3, the CP cost for the EX weapon itself is actually higher than the LD. So you really want to get those extra CP points in case you want to fit in an ability. I wouldn't say ability, a passive that's kind of like, you kind of like figure out the point values, that sort of thing. Now, when it comes down to the EX weapons, again, this is for those who will be getting their burst weapons, as well as units who will get a certain type of armor, which will be coming to global at a later date. Once you get like the 90 CP armor, for example, fully realized 3 out of 3, and you unlock the third sphere slots, as well as the EX weapons, same conditions, and all those the same conditions for those who getting your burst weapons. You can't sell those. And the way it works is like, the more you have it realized, the more blue nuggets you're going to get for the armor, in sense of like, you fully realize the 90 CP armor, 3 out of 3, you unlock the third sphere. Basically what happens here is that you can sell it at that point. You get about 20 blue nuggets back, and that is enough for 1 blue ingot. Now, the same thing kind of applies for EX weapons. When you fully realize it, 3 out of 3, you get the sphere. And this is only for those who have both the LD and Burst Weapon 4. It's basically the same deal. And the thing here is that you basically get a third of your investment back, which some people might not find as appealing. So now we have all the information on pull rates, what you need gem-wise, reselling certain pieces of gear. We got all that now out of the way. We do know that the LD and Burst Weapon era is coming to global. And basically, like I said, the whole thing with that, to recap, LD is exempt from the refresh for use category, simply because it's just too good to, to be considered into the equation. Now, the thing is with LD weapons, is the same treatment with their 15 and 35, is that you can MLB and get the quote-unquote ability / passive off of it, however, you cannot realize it. With burst weapons, however, you cannot MLB it at all. You cannot even realize it, however, the max level for a burst weapon is at 50. So that's on that with, the burst weapon, LD weapon, that sort of thing. Now we're going to go into the changes that are coming along to the token shop. There's very things to take note of here. So the EX Power Token Exchange. So we have still have this for the global end. The Dimensions End Order. You get your 10 tokens. You can exchange those for a EX weapon for your choice. So that's really good. Now, there is another update to this particular EX weapon shop coming, and it's going to have every last available EX weapon in the game, which includes Cater, Saz, Raijin, etc. This will change, upon the addition of each new character in time. Now, with this, it's like, with this particular one, the EX weapon tokens themselves is not going to be as easy to come by, but there are ways to go around it under the right circumstances. So that is not the only thing that's going to be changed regarding the change to the EX weapon shop. There are also another change to it in the sense of the addition of the red books, to realize the EX weapon, alongside the power stones, to MLB it to get into the realizable states. So you're going to be seeing a lot of that. Now, the cost to get an EX weapon from the EX weapon shop will be the same. And it's going to be 5 of the EX weapon tokens to get either the red book or a power stone. So that's the big change there for the EX weapon shop. Now, regarding 2 new shops here, in sense of what you can exchange for whatever. One of them is going to be the burst shop, meaning that you need 50 burst tokens to exchange for a burst weapon of your choice. However, you do need to be extremely careful here, because Since you need 50 of the burst tokens to exchange for a burst weapon, that's the limit you have. So basically, once you get to the 50 tokens, you have to use those on a burst weapon of your choice. Now, we're going to go into another particular shop here. It's called the Moogle Token Shop. I'll explain this right after I explain this particular shop. Now, like the burst shop, this is going to have a limit as well, but to 10 Moogle tokens. And there is a way to get these tokens. Now, what's in this shop is at the following. You have the red books, again, to realize your EX weapons, the blue books to realize your 90 CP armors, and the burst tokens to help with the burst token shop. Now, you guys got kind of a hint of the Moogle token shop. How do you get those tokens? Easy. Now, there is another feature that's going to be added to Global later on this week, sometime after maintenance, is known as the Moogle Pass. Some people know it as the Moogle Pass. There are going to be 2 passes available for Global. One of them is the standard, and then the other is a premium. Now, both of these passes do have gems in it. However, it's not the same amount. So, for the standard Moogle Pass, this is going to be $4.99 United States currency. This is the pre-tax price for those who are on Android devices. The reason why I word it like this is because not so much of me being an Android user who actually knows this, but there is a tax on varying bundles in games like this for those who are on Android devices. So it's going to be $4.99 United States currency, but there's a tax involved. So just a little bit of a forewarning. Now, when it comes down to the Moogle Pass, it's basically you get boosted points for the character enhancement boards alongside the summoning boards for the Esper Trials. So you get that, and I believe that the amount of gems you get here with the standard Moogle Pass is 610 gems, and that is a one-time thing. So just a little forewarning right there. Now with the Moogle Premium Pass, this is $37 United States currency, and again, like the standard, it is pre-tax, meaning that for those of you who are on Android devices like myself, we will be having an additional tax with these. Now with the Moogle Pass Premium, this comes with approximately 4,640 gems per month. And what we have here in addition is that we have 5 EX weapon tokens as well as the 2 burst tokens. Now the first month is going to be free, and you don't have to use this right away. And the thing is, with the Moogle Pass Premium and the Moogle Pass Standard, these are renewable. So basically, it does have a bit of a pay-to-play aspect. But I will have my opinion on that later on. Now, we do know that certain things are coming about. Now, is there another quality of life update coming to Global? Yes. It is through the Memoria Theater. Now, there's going to be an available option there with the continuous play or exit. So that option will be available after the maintenance. That's nothing relevant in my personal opinion because I really don't use it, but it's there if you need it. Now, before I go on any further, is going to be the Stream Awards. It's the standard that we get on Global. 3,000 gems, 10 armor tokens, 20 draw tickets, and a Power Stone. Now, we do know all that's going on. So are there going to be any alternate costumes? Yes. So the alternate costumes for Warrior Light, Garland, Squall, Leia are the notable ones for this particular month, alongside Onion Knights. So those are all of the known alternate costumes for the game thus far in the month of for the August calendar. Now, we're going to go into the lost chapters for the month of August. The first one is going to be the the one for Garland from the original Final Fantasy. This will have a dual alternate costume, one for Garland himself, the other for Warrior Light. The Lost Chapter itself goes live on the 3rd of August, and this will feature a new challenge, if you will, and it's known as the Challenge Quest. Now, in order to unlock the Challenge Quest, you must complete the Chaos difficulty fights to unlock it. The rules are as simple: no support for the Challenge Quest. Again, you have to complete the Chaos difficulty fight. And if you want to get the perfect, you have to have a team of just synergy units. And the thing is, with the Challenge Quest, it is limited time. So, for the limited time aspect here, it is the 3rd through the 17th of August for Garland's Challenge Quest. Now, I'm going to get to my opinion on this later on, as always. So, for Garland's Lost Chapter, this will debut his LD weapon. This will feature Squall's Burst weapon. I'll get to the whole thing with Squall in a little bit. So, that's that on that. And the thing is, with Garland, he will be getting his character enhancement boards outside the LD wing. Now, the second Lost Chapter for the month of August is going to be Ultimecia for Final Fantasy VIII. Now, this is going to be the 17th through the 31st of August with her Challenge Quest. Ultimecia will be getting her character boards outside the LD wing. She does get her LD here. It's Shantoto whose burst weapon will be featured here. And the thing is with Ultimecia, some people may be more inclined to skip this particular banner, and that's because Ultimecia's LD weapon will be returning with her 8080 Awakening in the future on Global. However, with that being said, Pain does get her EX weapon realized and her character enhancement boards. So, with the Lost Chapters out of the way, we're going to get into the character events for the month of August. That's going to be from the 7th through the 21st of August. All dates here are UTC time zone wise. It's going to be the global debut of Amid-Italian from Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles. And this one will have the debut of their LD weapon. This will feature Squall's Burst weapon as well. Garland will be Lost Chapter Synergy for this particular event. Now, from the 21st of August through the 4th of September will be the global debut of Dash from Final Fantasy III. This features Shantoto's Burst weapon, as well as Onion Knight's alternate costume, which this is a return alongside Squall, Lael, Warrior Light, and Garland. So almost all of the alternate costumes are returning. If you have them before, it really depends on if you need gems from them or not. So, with that bit out of the way, we're going to go into information pertaining to a raid event. This is going to be from the 30th of July through the 13th of August. It's known as Charging Power 128%, aka the Soul Cannon Raid. This will have the LD and Burst weapons for Squall from Final Fantasy VIII. So, for those who are wondering, he's not getting his second rework here, although that would be nice, but it is much too powerful for this point in Global. So with that, we do know that both of the banners that Squall's LD and Burst weapon appear in, these will have the first multi-pull for free. So, with that bit out of the way, we're going to get into the 14th tier of Dimensions and Entropy. This is going to be the 12th of August. Now, basically, the strategy here is do not bring in ranged units. However, you want to bring in melee and magic units. And you want to have people who can poison, sap, and or bring in paralysis. And the reason why I say this is because the enemies on each wave in this particular tier is that they have varying elements, varying resistances, all that stuff. So you really need, one of each type outside of the ranged units. Now, with that out of the way, we're going to go into the Heretic event, which is the 12th through the 26th of August. This will have the LD and BT weapon debut for Shantota from Final Fantasy XI. This also features the second rework for Alice from Final Fantasy XIV, alongside her EX weapon getting realized, and Alice's character enhancement boards come along here. This is perhaps something that some people were getting excited about. I'm excited about it because I love Alice. Now, I'm going to take a pause here. I do need to... Oh, okay, gotcha. I actually do have some notes here that I completely forgot. Now, the thing here is that I brought up, the whole thing with the Moogle Pass. Certain things here there. Now, this is where I get to mention Jess Wong here because she did some incredible arithmetic here, and this kind of helps me explain certain things that I'm about to say. Now, if you notice here that my in-game rank, it currently is at 904. Now, there is an adjustment going to be made that is reliant on your current in-game rank. Now, what on earth am I talking about here? So we're going to go into these not the character enhancement boards per se, but more of the summoning boards. But we're going to do a quick dive into the character enhancement boards to help explain certain aspects. So I'm going to be picking Bart here because he's the first one on my screen, and he kind of helps out with the explanation. So right now, I don't have anything with him regarding board mastery for the summoning boards. But, if I were to, get some wild points, all that stuff, I actually have an excellent multiplier. Meaning that the higher your in-game rank is, that means the more points that you're going to get. Meaning that if you're at 201 with your in-game rank, you're going to be getting 110% value with your points. Now if you're at 904, you're at about 145%. Because the way the multiplier works is that for every 20 ranks, and that's starting with 201, the value of your summoning board points goes up by 1. I believe it's by 1% per 20 ranks. So again, it is wise to have a high in-game rank. Not so much for the gens, but if you have a lot of stuff going on, having that high in-game rank will help you with certain aspects to help with the quality of your actual life outside the game. So you have all this, so basically it helps with that. And we're gonna look at the character enhancement board, so it's gonna help this as well because the number of points you get per when you're farming, it used to be the limit at 5,000. With the Moogle Pass, it will be 10,000. And the thing is with the Moogle Pass for the summoning boards here, and this is where Jess's math arithmetic really helped me out here, is that when you factor in your in-game rank, you factor in the Moogle Pass, and you factor in a tome of training or an artifact of all knowledge. If you have all those factors in, and with the artifact of all knowledge or tome of training, take your pick, you're looking at about 2,655 points approximate per run on the summoning boards alone. Meaning that a 15 tome of training or a 15-minute artifact of all knowledge will be more than enough to max somebody out. And this is going to be proven especially useful when you look into the upcoming ultimate summons like Ultimate Odin and Ultimate Bahamut. This will become extremely useful. And like I said, this is where I give Jess Wong a massive shout out because if it weren't for her doing the math, it probably would have taken me quite some time to figure out all the numbering, all that stuff. So you gotta give that woman some credit. Now, I'm gonna take a pause here. I gotta look at my notes here. I might have skipped something, so I'll be back. Okay, so I am back. It looks like I didn't miss much, but I do want to mention here that the next stream will be the 24th of August, and it's going to be about 1:30 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. So, with that bit all out of the way, what do I think about some of this stuff? Now, I'll be completely honest here. I was kind of surprised that for the month of August, Global is only getting 2 free multiples, and Squall, and the raid involving Squall and his LD and Burst owning both of those. I'm kind of surprised because, honestly, I'm not so sure what's going on here, you know. People expect Global to follow JP, but me thinking and knowing better, Global is going to do its own thing. No matter how you put it. But with that being said, I am kind of shocked, you know, in all honesty, where parts of the stream focus on the quality of life a bit more than the content itself. But sometimes that could actually be a good thing. Because some of the quality of life changes that's coming to Global might be helping some of the casualists, you know, be more at ease with playing the game. And me being a casualist due to circumstance, this actually helps me out a significant deal. Now, I am going to be interested to see, it'll be interesting to see, you know, how people are going to look at the polls, you know, going forward with there being no more off-banner goals. Some people might be missing it, but it's too soon to determine that. Now, I do want to mention here that for Squall's LD and Burst, it does come back when Squall gets his 80-80 awakening, and that's when Squall gets a secondary rework, and the LD wing for him is open for the character enhancement boards. Now, I mean, now outside of that, I mean, there's not so much bad for me to say about this particular one, but I do want to address some people, you know, commenting certain things, and I'm like, dude, man, just knock it off. I mean, you guys, those comments were they're trying to derail the whole vibe of the stream. Now, again, I do have to really thank Jess for the arithmetic on the whole thing where you factor in the in-game rank, the Moogle Pass, the token training, or artifact of all knowledge. It really does help, you know, with certain aspects of, like, farming. More specifically, the summon board farming and the character enhancement board farming. It really helps a great deal having the math available. Now, I do like the fact that the TonberryTroupe had like an infographic with the important information. That's like really helpful, you know, for people that just want to read and don't want to pay attention to the stream. Now, with that bit out of the way, I mean, there's not much I can really say. And there's nothing bad, but there's also nothing good either. So it's like, there's not really much I can really say overall. So, with that, I'm gonna shoot to, get this posted before I leave for work later on. So with that, I am done. And the next videos, I'm gonna be, posting, actually, I wouldn't say posting, I'm gonna be filming are the Tara Bradford for being the, character spotlight quick tips for the month of August, and the 30-month mark for the game overall. So with that, I'm done for the night. With Wolvie here, signing off. I will catch you all on the flip side.